it's one of those things too, where it's like, you've definitely pissed me off in the past of like, not like you're pissing me off, but like little things that you'll say, I'm like, damn it, he's right. Right. And it's just one of those that it pushes me, but I love it that you're not, at the same time, you're not trying to be down my throat, right? You let it be my journey, right? Which I love. Right. And so, yeah. So hit me with some of the questions.
This is ultimately what coaching is about, right? Like, I don't need to babysit you, but I can point out things that help you grow and advance that you wouldn't know, or you wouldn't do on your own, right? Seeing your blind spots. Yeah. So for those of you watching, we got Drew here. He's been doing the program, the Kinetic method, for a while now, a little bit more than 6 months. And we're going to talk about the results and his lifestyle, his experience, some other questions. Drew, welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Can you share a little bit more with everyone listening, age, height, your lifestyle, that people get an understanding of your current situation and what it takes to succeed, and then we get into a little bit more fitness talk.
Sure. Let's see. I am 35. I'm just about 6'4". I'm now 217 pounds, 216, right? Usually fluctuate a couple pounds there. But I started at 248, I think it was.
246.
246.
To 216.
So now, I'm down my 30 pounds, which, dang it, I should have had your little thing that you sent me.
You should.
It's in my house though.
Yeah, you need to take a photo, man.
I will.
Okay.
I appreciate it. But that was one that was like, I brought it home to my wife and I was joking with her. I was like, I'd like to thank my wife for really just putting up with all my crap throughout this, right? And thank you to Morrow for putting up with my BS, right? But yeah, so I'm in real estate. I own and operate a team. I also work for one of the top guys in a corporation called EXP. So me and my wife have been married for 11 years. We have 4 kids, 10 and under. So with my lifestyle, I work a lot, and that's where you see me walking. I'm at the office right now, but I'm always walking when I'm here. It's funny, all the people on my team, they just know, like, oh, Drew's get on the treadmill today, like every day. But so yeah, and then I don't work many weekends very much. I get to be a dad, and I'm really involved. And I was telling you earlier, like, I love the way I feel nowadays, because I'm a better dad, I'm a better husband, I'm a better businessman, I'm a better person in my religion. Like, it's all better, through getting in shape and getting more confidence in myself, and really just putting some time and effort into me and my body. That's been really helpful.
It's good how it spills over to the other areas of your life, and as we just talked before we record this, amplifies everything that you've been doing, right?
Oh yeah.
So you want to say something?
Well, yeah, I was just gonna say, like, kind of repeat what we had talked about before, like where it spills over into the other parts of your life, right? Like, you getting me on my morning routine has just been such a big deal for me. We've been married, me and my wife have been married 11 years. So it's been 10 years of my wife just begging me to have a morning routine, right? I'm a high D or driver kind of personality, which means I push for what I want, but I'm incredibly disorganized. So she'd never know what kind of day she'd have, never know what morning. And so with it, I got told it 20, 30 times before of other people, like how important a morning routine is, right? And so now for me, I've told you, shared with you, I'm a religious guy. So it's really helped me in my relationship with God because I'm in scriptures every single morning now because I have a morning routine, right? That's my meditation time. Okay. I get time to pray for each one of my kids, like every single day. I think in 6 months, I've maybe missed a handful of times that I went through my morning routine, right? I even do it on vacation. So, and then it's made me a better dad. Like there's no more where the kids are running around and dad's like, oh, okay, which is, I'm not, if anything, my kids are the ones that are like, now they're like, dad, just stop. Okay. Like I'm done running. And I'm like, let's go. I can go for some more laps if you want. Let's do this. Right. And my wife is definitely, I'm enjoying the time where it's this role reversal where she's checking me out in a big way. Like, obviously I still check out my wife because she's beautiful, but it's one of those, I used to be the fat guy, right? Or overweight, right? I was just chubby and I was in a rut. And now with getting into better shape, it's helped my life in all those different aspects. And same with business, I get immediate respect and credibility when people can look at my body and say, okay, well, at least I know he has dedication, right? And then they get to meet me and see that I'm not full of myself and a jerk. And it's like, I might want to work with this guy. So yeah, it's really helped.
Yeah, a lot of people forget there's a saying, don't judge a book by its cover, but that's how human beings are wired. Like I think there's a study that shows the first 7 seconds, you make an impression, and your body and your body language will be a big part of that impression, especially for someone like you who works in real estate or who's a lot meeting clients a lot in person, and you can't hide behind the screen and just do this one here where people don't see the chin anything, but it's like you're there from the front and people see you and see like, okay, that guy wants to take care of myself, but he can't even take care of himself. Should I really trust him? Yes or no? Yep. Right. So good awareness, and that you see the difference now, how people treat you differently, respect you, and yeah, it's beautiful to watch. Would you have expected that initially when you started? That this will happen, or was it a surprise?
Nice. The funny thing, there's a couple of things that have happened that I didn't expect. First off, so in any Zoom that I do, because of my position, I still do a lot of Zooms as well, right? I don't do a single meeting without walking on the treadmill, right? And I'm meeting with CEOs of big companies and big investors, and I'm a very blessed man of that. Okay, but when people see me on this, they're like, "Are you on a treadmill?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I remember the first time I did it, I was a little bit hesitant, right? Every single time I get, that is so cool. Like, I need to do that. Like, because there's no one, no matter how much money you make, you can be a billionaire, you can make $20 an hour, right? Or less, right? There's not a single one of us that don't have a feeling of, well, I could probably get into better shape, right? I wish I was in better shape, right? And so to sit there and be able to really connect with people, like I talk about fitness with so many people, right? Like I talk to my real estate clients all the time about fitness because it's a big part of my life now, right? I talk about planning food. I talk about macros. I'm teaching people what you have taught me. And I sit there and connect with people with it, which is something I did not think was going to come from this. But yeah, it happens all the time.
It's good. It's beautiful. You know, there's a saying, change the man, change the household, but it doesn't stop there. Change the man, change the household, change the neighborhood. So your influence on yourself is now spilling over to others, right? If other people, you help to understand nutrition better and training better and their body better and behavior, then you just see them change as well. And you know, like, wow, they were inspired by me and I was able to lead them. And that's really great because not many people these days can say that, especially when it comes to their fitness.
Yeah, and it's, I love that saying too, because it's so true. I feel when you're not confident in yourself, you know, it's hard to take care of yourself, let alone really take care of your family, let alone then take care of other people and help them take care of their families, right? And to change a neighborhood and change, you know, to exponentially grow, right? It really starts with just you, right? And you're more like, it's also kind of going back to that morning routine too, where it's, I sit there and, you know, every single morning after I'm done with my scriptures and prayers, I'm sitting there and I'm listening to motivational stuff every single morning, right? Just keeping that positivity going, right? And just helping myself grow and expand in other avenues of my life, for sure.
Awesome. Would you say you've gotten, you would have been able to get here to where you are today on your own without the program?
Honestly, I don't think so. To be honest, like, you know, not just to boast you, which I got, you know me, I'm a fan of yours, right? But it's one of those that I've been told it by so many different people, and to, you know, it's one of those things where it's like you can be told something 100 times to listen once, right? And you were able to get me to listen, and we're able to, and I told you this before we started recording, that I respect you, right? There's a different, like, I love how humble you are. Not only are you able to, you know, obviously you're in good shape, right? So you're a product of your own services, right? Obviously you can see, look at yourself and be like, guy knows how to stay in shape. Look at him, he's in shape, right? But I love that you come with the humility with it, where it's like, okay, all right, so this guy is not only in shape, but he likes to teach. I love that, right? I can get behind someone, I can trust someone like this, you know? And so, and obviously 30 pounds later, right? And I feel better at 35 than I did at 18. Like I love where I'm at. I love how good I feel. I have so much energy, right? My kids are like, even my kids, right? Where they're sitting there looking at me like, gosh, Dad, like you're always going. I'm like, yep, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do some more.
Wonderful. I'm actually just writing that down with you feeling better at 35 than 18. That's good. And if you go back, let's say the past, maybe even to the age of 18, what were some of the things you've tried on your own before you decide to get help, like diets, programs, trainers?
Yeah, I mean, so you know, I used to be in the sports back, you know, through high school into early part of college. So I had trainers that were, you know, that I worked with, usually on a group setting, not one-on-one. And I did a lot of like kind of powerlifting, and you know, it wasn't at near as focused on diet. Then those came in later years, when I try and do, you know, try and do keto and try and do Nutrisystem, and it was one of those like I could only take so much just crappy tasting food, and also doing it on my own where you don't have that camaraderie, and you don't have where like with the guys, with the group stuff, the group chats and everything, and just throwing in meal ideas and throwing in step challenges, and celebrating each other, right? Like that is a fun aspect. And then I love how involved you are, right? Like I have paid 2-3 times the amount that I paid for this, and gotten access to some video library, and talked to the guy that charged me $10,000-$15,000 once, twice, and I'm no longer in those programs. I have no way would I ever recommend them. But yeah, for yours, I try and sell you as much like a house, man. Right? Like I'm talking to people and they're like, Drew, you look great. I'm like, I know, thank you, man. Appreciate that. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm working with my trainer, right? Like he's overseas, right? He's now down in Mexico, right? Like he's like, they're like, he trains you virtually. I'm like, yep. And it works really well, man. I'm like, I gotta get you in touch with them. And then the crazy thing too, when you're now that I'm in this shape, is realizing my hesitancy for years. Because there's so many people when you talk to them, like, I got this issue going on, and I don't really want to do it. But I mean, thanks for the offer, right? And you just look at them like, dude, I would like I can see you're not happy, and a lot of it comes from yourself, from your body, right? So yeah.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference when you feel well in your own skin, or you want to escape and feel like you're in a prison. So perfectly said.
Yep.
What would you say has been most helpful for you during this experience? Like, was it, maybe just to give some details or context here, was it the support, the coaching? Was it the system, the plan, anything else, a community, a little bit of everything? Like,
Well, it's definitely, I mean, it's really, you really do offer, full package, right? And it's definitely a lot. I would say the plan, like the plan for all of the vitamins and everything that you have really helped me to, coach me on, to help with the hormone side. I think that's a huge thing. I don't think that is offered really anywhere that I've ever seen. And to be able to, it's so interesting of me where I'm like, I do more research on this stuff, and I just sit there and, like I send you the stuff where, hey, check out this stuff, right? And you're like, you're already on it. And it's like, oh yeah, okay, cool. Right? Like I'm already there. I don't have to do all this research. You've already done it. And all I have to do is trust, right? And you've never let me down so far. Right. And so, and then the support, I mean, I do find it, fun to sit there and cool to be sitting there. And, to me, like I wake up to your texts or to your messages. Right. And it's one of those, like, it helps me immediately. I don't ever touch my phone for the first hour besides messaging you back. That's it. And then also check my weight because it's on the little app. But that's it. Right. And it's like when you're texting me on that, it keeps me going. I'm up. I set the timer in my head. I'm only allowed to be up physically awake for 3 minutes before I'm out of the bed.
That's
So
good.
I take 3 minutes to wake up and I'm out. I'm gone.
Mhm.
Right. You know, and so, yeah, that's been your support and the hormone help has been the biggest for me personally.
Perfect. Yeah, good to know. And anyone who's watching this, for them as well. Talking to our guests here watching, if someone is on the fence, they're not sure if they should join or not, pull the trigger, do it on their own, do something else, what would you tell them if they were sitting with us on the table or joining us for this Zoom call?
You know what I would do? What I would tell people is, what I tell people in business, right? Where I feel like people will take some advice in business that they just never apply to their personal lives, especially their body, right? Where if you look at your business and it's not producing, especially us business owners, if it's not producing the way that you want it to, what would you do? Would you ever consider hiring a coach, right? And most of them will say, well, yeah, that sounds like that'd probably be a good idea, right? And I'd ask them, okay, so if you didn't hire a coach and you're still doing the same things, do you think this year that you did last year, do you think that you're going to get the same results as you did last year? Well, yeah. Okay, so last year you were 40 pounds overweight. This year you're 45 pounds overweight. So with doing the same thing that you're doing right now, do you think that you're going to lose weight? I was like, well, but I'm dedicated. I'm going to do it by myself. I set a New Year's resolution, right? And it's like, okay, so what did you do last New Year's? Well, I said I was going to lose 15. Did you lose 15? Well, no, I gained 5. Okay.
Or lost 15 and regained 20.
Yeah. I've done it plenty of times where I sat there. I did it so many times where I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to lose 15 pounds. I did shakes, like protein shakes for a month one time. I lost 15 pounds, started looking better. Not my body composition now is a hell of a lot different than that diet for sure, right? Because I was losing muscle at the same time. But to sit there and I went up. I lost 15 to gain 20.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at it, I'm like, okay, I'd done plenty of New Year's resolutions to say I'm gonna lose 15 pounds. Didn't happen, right? And I finally, for me, that's what it was in my head, because I'm, constantly being told about business, right? But I was like, okay, well, why don't I sit there and try and treat my body like a business? Okay, and take numbers and keep KPIs and return, like keep my numbers accountable, which is one of the things when you first started talking to me about it, and you literally took a business approach to your body. And I was like, man, that makes sense. That's exactly what I said that I would do. And I've learned how to keep it off, right? It's one of those that I have learned from you how to get 30 pounds less and keep it off, right? Now, and the reason that I signed up for another stint with you, another year with you, is because I know you can teach me more about dropping even more weight and bulking up more to where I want my body to be, right? So yeah, for people that are asking, should I do it? I'll ask you, what are your results so far? And if you want different results, take different actions and hire a coach.
Great speech, man. I should bring you on on all these calls just in the beginning to give that pitch or reframe. No, it's good, and it's the truth. A lot of people, a lot of guys like us, we have, let's not bullshit ourselves. We have big egos sometimes. It's like, oh no, I'm a man. I was in shape, and I can do it. And yeah, some people can do it, but if we can do it, why haven't we done it already?
Oh, yeah. You know,
Yeah.
I told you, like, it's been a long time since I felt like an athlete. And I love it now when I like, because I go to all these events and these, you know, things with a bunch of people there. There's sometimes I speak at them. Some people I'm just like, I'm sitting in the front row. And I love it at times where someone's speaking and they're like, well, you look at this guy, and he points to me. He's like, and you can see the people that work out, right? Man, how much do you work out? And I get to sit there and say, you know, four times a week, 6 times a week, you count abs, right? Yes, it does help my ego. Okay. But it's the truth because I'm working my ass off. Right. But I love it where I get to be the athlete again. That was a part of who I was. And I lost it for a long time. And now I get to be the athlete again, but, you know, with maturity and keeping my humility to it.
Wonderful. Good. That was great. We've been talking a lot, so yeah, time to hydrate ourselves. You can see it's getting dark here. It's not night, but it's super rainy. So yeah, I just realized it now. Took some notes that you wrote, so there was some light there as well. But yeah, thank you so much, Drew, for joining today, giving everyone some insights on this and your experience that hopefully can inspire many guys watching and listening to this. Yeah, thanks, brother.
Thank you for all your help, buddy. And if you are listening to this, I'm just like any other guy, but the difference is I look better now. And it's all
You
thanks to
do.
Mark.
Not all thanks to me.
It's not all.
We're the team, 50-50. I'll take 50 for the credit. 50 goes to Drew for his hard work. And yeah.
That's a good compromise.
Definitely.